everybody out there, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan, and with me is a very special guest who dabbles in maids and other various things. Would you like to unveil your secret identity to the masses?
Yeah, hey everybody. I'm Michael Stevens. I'm the co-creator of Starline Publishing. We release awesome role-playing games and all kinds of kooky little games from Japan, as well as from our the dark recesses of our basements.
That sounds very creepy. Just a little.
It it's more delightful than it sounds.
You guys should play on the porch, the evil porch of role-playing games.
Yeah, but the parents' basement is a hallmark. It's a tradition.
I know, but you can't have a barbecue in the basement.
Actually, we had.
Really?
Yeah, we lost two people.
Oh, I'm sorry for your loss.
Mm, they were jerks.
Yeah, screw
So
those guys.
yeah. So, anyways, yes, we do all kinds of great little games from Japan. We found all kinds of cool little things. Right now, we're one of my my partner in crime, Aaron Clooney, just released a new game called Channel A. This is a fun little card game, and very soon we're going to have a Kickstarter for a Studio Ghibli-esque or Ghibli. If I already hear the nerds screaming, "It's Ghibli!" Uh, where uh,
They must hate me then. I say Ghibli.
you say Ghibli?
I totally
Uh,
do.
Sometimes I say Ghibli, sometimes I say Ghibli. It just depends on where I go, and I will be wrong no matter what.
Just say Miyazaki, and then you're clear.
Yeah, that's very true. I'm just more used to saying Ghibli. So yes, Miyazaki RPG. It's a Miyazaki styled RPG. You're not going to find Porco Rosso in there, but it's got the same kind of feel of My Neighbor Totoro and Kiki's Delivery Service and fun like that.
It's this is kind of a sidetrack, but one of the interesting things about Totoro is that I just learned that there's like this conspiracy theory that the two girls in it are dead and all of this other stuff. Have you heard of that?
I have heard of that, and it is very untrue.
Yeah,
If
it's as I said, it's a conspiracy, like theory. I can't really watch the movie and see like, oh, this is dark and ghostly and dead and morbid, you know?
No, it's just two kids with an imagination trying to grasp with what's going on around them. One of my favorite film theories was Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where the entire movie and Ferris Bueller was just a construct of his best friend's Cameron's mind.
I've heard that one, and that one's hard for me to like get my head around too, because I have to be like, well, what about the principal? Because what is the principal reacting to? Or is he imagining him reacting to it?
Or he's chasing down Cameron. Either way, it's like Cameron's Ferris. But yeah, it's just one of those bizarre little theories people come up with to entertain themselves. It's no more no less fun than say the Wizard of Oz was a commentary on the on on politics of the 19 of the early 1900s.
Well, I have to ask, since we're mentioning Ghibli, do you have a preferred Ghibli film?
Uh, I do. I actually really like Kiki's Delivery Service.
I
Yeah, it
remember
was.
watching that on Disney Channel when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's a good one. I remember watching a the English dub of it. It was it was handled really well. The characters and the discussion of growing up, trying to help people, but also trying to Find Your Voice resounded very strongly to me as a teenager growing up.
See, I'm the weird one out because I like Whisper of the Heart. That's my favorite, and nobody has even watched that one.
Ooh, awkward. I was about to say I haven't watched that one.
Aha! Because it has a weird relation with The Cat Returns, which is also another one that I really love, but that's also one that people have maybe kind of seen or haven't even heard of.
I know one of my friends really loves Whisper of the Heart. Actually, two of my friends. So they've they thought it was really something awesome. My second favorite has to be like Ponyo, which just felt like an excuse of let's find a way to draw really exotic prehistoric fish.
Ponyo was really interesting. It was funny though, because the character that I was attracted to the most was the father. Like I ended up
The
oftentimes,
father of Ponyo or
yes,
the or Sosuke?
the father of Ponyo.
Okay.
Because oftentimes I would wonder what he was doing while the other characters were running about, because he was just such a worrywart the entire time.
I think it was making threatening phone calls.
That makes sense.
I
Do
will
they have
find.
phone underwater? Hmm.
Mm,
Maybe in Ghibli's world.
quite possibly.
Well, now that's a Kickstarter you guys have coming up for that game, but there's also a Kickstarter going on now.
Yes, yes, that's Channel A. Uh, Channel A is actually a party card game. Are you familiar with Apples to Apples or maybe Cards Against Humanity?
Well, it's funny you don't have to ask if I can relate to it because I've technically played this game at conventions before.
Oh, sweet.
Yes, we get
Yeah.
really weird ideas and really interesting anime names.
Oh, great, great. So have you come up with anything memorable?
Well, the interesting thing is we'll introduce people to different versions of like games like this in like a 2 hour panel. And so we actually make the people at the panel play it. And so they come up with most of the stories and we try and help them. Like we've kind of done versions of like Made RPG and told them where they can buy it and things like that. So uh
Oh, sweet.
Channel A is one of the ones we've done. We've done sort of combinations sometimes too. We have, I guess you could say, a somewhat customized game where it's half made RPG where you can create your character, and half Channel A where you have to figure out how those characters fit in fit in the Channel A game, so fit in that anime world. And we added arcs and story like certain arcs you have to hit, like you know
Huh.
yeah, it's really it's hard to explain actually when you don't have like all the paperwork in front of you because we wrote it and it was like 22 pages, and so at the beginning and the end we're like, if you like this you'll like Made RPG and you'll like Channel A, which you can find, I believe you could find at Aaron's website.
Yes, you can find it at Yaruki Zero. I think that's WordPress. Uh, we're all over. We're bouncing all over the place here. But
But the Kickstarter is so you can actually have Channel A without getting too complicated and trying to do play 2 hours with us. But Channel A is where you can play it, with the actual cards and not have to write everything down on like a character sheet.
yes, yes, it's actually YarukiZeroGames.com. That's Aaron's main blog, website, and everything. Uh, but it will be available from the people who made Whack a Cat Girl. Uh, but just to briefly explain for those who may not really know what we're talking about here with Channel A, Channel A is as I said before, a party card game. You don't really need to know much of anything. Instead, the whole idea is that you're all anime designers and you have to solve a or pitch a anime program based on what cards you have and what cards the current producer of Channel A for that round has given out. And uh, there's two concept cards that you do have to fill out and everything, or that you do have to match.
And you also have the titles as well. You don't get to pick your own title.
No, no, you don't. So you have like the two premise cards. For example, office hijinks and aliens. You can then have you'll have 10 cards in your hand, and each of the cards has a different thing, like Lancer, Pink, Galaxy, Rune, Chan, Battler, Steel. You get the idea, and you have to assemble the title, and then you come up with a general premise for it. And it's just a very, very brief premise, but it was but that's pretty much the game, and it is a lot of fun. We've had one of our players come up with, I kid you not, it was a tournament high school game, and one guy came up with the title Super Fighting Fight Fighters EX.
That sounds like the best westernized name I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's it's definitely playing homage to the whole word salad thing, and I've gotten people interested just by getting a couple people, and then I normally get uh, some other friends who would say, "Oh, I don't know about this, so I'll just watch," and then I say, "Okay, that's fine, but we need you to vote. We need you to vote on which show you think is best." And within about two hands, they're already in. It's not complicated, and it's very quick and easy to set up, play, and just do a few rounds. Then every round, just everybody pitches their show. Once everybody's done pitching their show, then everybody votes for someone else that they think was the best show.
Well, one of my favorite moments when trying the demo version that's available on Aaron's website is when you get a show that's like maybe like a psychological thriller and you get this cutesy title like Pinka-chan Des or something like that's those are the best.
Yeah, well, it worked for Madoka.
Very true. And you can see how people use the titles to their advantage as well as certain premises are genres.
Premisai.
Premisai, is that the official?
No, I just made that up.
Dang
I
it.
like streaming.
Dang it. You fooled me.
Yeah. Well, you know, we editors, we're a tricky bunch.
But people can go find that on Kickstarter and they should back it and they should donate to it because it's a very fun game. Like Made RPG, for example, is my first I guess D&D-ish style game or paper game like that.
Official role playing game? Wow.
Yeah. I've always wanted to try for years, but as I grew up, none of the boys wanted to explain the rules to me for me to play, which seems like I should be having the opposite problem, but and I didn't have any friends who were female that played that sort of stuff. So finally, when I bought Made RPG, like oh God, I want to say like a year and a half ago. It was a while ago. And I had been begging the staff, play with me, even though we're all going to be maids. Let's play. Somebody play. I don't want to play alone. And finally, once I got like two people, I got everybody.
Yes, that's actually how the role playing game came about. At least the release here. Uh, Now, previously, my experience has been I worked as a game tester for some time, and back around 2007, 2006, we were working on a horrific little PSP racing game. This thing was never getting out of test. And we were
Horrific. Oh
just,
God.
yeah, we were just stuck in this thing and just having to go through the same races and everything. At this time, Aaron gave me a translated copy of Made RPG, which he just got from Japan, and the rules were brief. It was about 36 pages, so it was easy to quickly translate, and I found all the tables. And at first, I'm thinking like, why the heck do I want to play as a maid? What's the deal?
Because you
And
want
then
to be
I'm
Ugu Desu.
no, and then I'm looking at the rules, and I find that it's more about it's more about random. It's just so absurd and goofy, and now suddenly you're a maid with glasses, freckles, and she's a half werewolf who ran away from a ninja school. And I'm looking this over, and it's like, this is actually pretty cool. So to kill some time at work, I started rolling up a character, and then I rolled up a character with a good friend of mine. Loves tabletop RPGs and card games. And so he asked me, "Oh, can you roll me a character?" And I said, "Sure." And we ended up rolling up a character who was a bunny girl. She was invulnerable to pain, but she was actually, and she was just invulnerable in general. But she was a masochist and a psychic. And I'm looking at this, and I listed off to everybody, and we're all cracking up. And this was like the best piece of entertainment we've had in some time while we're testing this racing game. And sooner or later, I'm finding out everyone in in the office has now tried to get us to roll up, just ask us, can you roll me up a maid character? And I say, sure. And I'll just roll it up, check the charts, write it all down. Okay, here's your maid. And everybody just laughed their head off. And that has been kind of my way to get people to try the game, which is just roll up a character and you'll see how random and crazy awesome the game is.
Well, I will say with Made RPG, it really helps with the staff with getting out tension. For example, my character fights with one of the male staff members' characters, who about their shoes. We just argue about her shoes. We can't be friends because her shoes are ugly. That's it. Like we just, it's just a nice way to sort of like get all of that out and be funny and be silly because all of the guys, and I give them props, are in really high voices trying to be like very weeboo-ish. Like it just makes it so entertaining.
That's great. So you haven't told them about the optional steward rules?
Well, we did have the closest we came is we had one butler. He's not a part of staff anymore, so we actually need a new butler. However, we kind of tried to, when we had the butler, we did try and make some changes though, because it seemed like the butler could never do anything to interact with the others. So at random intervals, he would just kind of make sound effects, like he was part snake or something, and he would make like sounds and be like, "I'm making bacon," just like randomly amongst everything else.
Yeah, it's interesting about the butler. The butler is definitely a different character from Maid RPG. Um, Now in Maid, the maids are just wacky characters who are trying to uh, make their master happy by doing all kinds of things and triggering all kinds of random events. Butlers have to be they have to play by the rules. And if you ever wanted a great example of how a butler behaves in Made RPG, just look at Walter from Helsing. He is perfect. Here's this guy. He's just standing there, but once the vampires bust in, heads are flying. You know, whatever he's going to be doing is going to be cool. But somebody described the butler best as like the sheriff from Eureka, where the sheriff, yes, he actually was investigating and looking things around, but he really wasn't doing. He wasn't like the big mover and shaker. He was more checking in, making comments, and trying to help out, but not instigate things. And that's kind of the thing about them. The cool thing about stewards is that stewards are pretty much the same as maids, although the butler can discipline the stewards.
Well, I will say I'm kind of happy that they don't know about that because when you hear like 12 guys all talking in high-pitched voices arguing about clothes, it's kind of priceless. I kind of don't want to tell them that there's a male option.
Well, also if they roll 24. 24 is actually a guy.
Yeah, that's true. I know there's also crossdresser, I believe.
Yeah, that's 24.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because
Well, it
I
could.
thought like there was trap in crossdresser. I just thought trap was actually a guy or something. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, it was just actually a guy. How you wish to portray that is really up to you. It could just be like, no, it's just a dude in a maid costume, or it could just be like, oh, that looks like a cute girl. Yeah, trap.
Well, for the people out there who haven't gotten a chance to pick up Made RPG, which is kind of amazing because we talk about it all the time, you should go do that. It's really easy to find on the
You
interwebs.
can, yeah, you can go to maderpg.com for that. We are also going to have it as uh, a special add-on for our upcoming Golden Sky Stories Kickstarter.
Now, one of the things that's really interesting is you guys go to a lot of conventions to show off these games. Are there any conventions in the future where fans can, sit down and play and experience all this wacky fun?
Yes, actually you can. We are going to be at WonderCon this year. Uh, uh, Definitely doing tabletop day for those who are aware of the Geek and Sundry International Tabletop Day that's going on at the end of March. That's happening. We're also going to be doing a special demo program for Golden Sky Stories for anybody who wishes to run a game on or around Tabletop Day. Just let us know, and we'll hook you up with a demo. You can check it out and have a lot of fun there. Uh, that's pretty much it right now, as far as I know of. But do check your local listings.
You should, because I actually haven't gotten a chance to play these at a convention. I've always just played them with like the other staff members, but I can just imagine how wacky and crazy it is when you get anime fans who are strangers together to play.
Oh yeah, no, I've done that all the time over at SAC Anime or at Acon. One year I was over at Acon. Great show, by the way. Uh, I just sat at a table and just asked people, what is your anime made? And they go, excuse me, just roll some dice and I'll tell you what your crazy anime made is. And they just play along. They love it, and I let them walk off with a character sheet and everything. We also happen to have people running demonstrations and stuff all over the place, especially in the Northwest. But if anybody who's hearing this who plays Made RPG or Golden Sky Stories or Channel A, just get a copy, start a game,
It's
run
fun.
event.
And convince your friends a lot better than I did. It took me years to convince any of my friends to play Made RPG with me.
It's very simple. Just go ahead, uh, get things together, and just have them roll over a character and just check it out. Made RPG is not for everybody. I'm just gonna be straight out and say that it is definitely a silly game. I've seen some people who say, yeah, it's not for me. Uh, Sometimes some people get like really threatened by it. I've been very impressed, just kind of shocked. Sometimes I'll go to a traditional gaming convention and I will bring it out, and people are going like, "Whoa, no, no, no!" Like like I'm saying, "Oh, hey, I happen to have like 5 kilos of crack cocaine here."
I wonder if it's maybe a misconception that it's overly sexualized because I know those options exist in the game, and I think that was one of the things that a lot of people assumed, like, oh, it's a harem or it's moe or it's overly sexual or something along those lines.
Yeah, yeah, like make it like the whole idea is all about seduction, and you're going to have a bunch of girls seduce each other, which are a bunch of creepy, sweaty neckbeards, and no, that's absolutely false. Made RPG, I joke around and say it's not a role playing game; it's every role playing game. Uh, there's all kinds of different settings, comedy, you and that's the basic setting. You could set it in a cyberpunk world, you could set it in the old west, you can set it in the middle of a jungle. You could actually make it serious, you could turn it into kind of a soap opera.
But I will say that with Made RPG, it's just a fun experience in general. And I hope the fans out there get a chance to play not only Made RPG, but Channel A, as well as test out the latest game that you're going to have a Kickstarter for soon.
Yes, yes. So about that, Golden Sky Stories, as I said before, is very much like like a very heartwarming Miyazaki style movie. And in it, everybody plays animals who have a little bit of magical power, and they're outside of this small little Japanese town. And instead of fighting or foiling evil plots, the animals are all just pretty much trying to make friends and help people out. It's very heartwarming. There's absolutely no combat involved. In fact, there's no dice involved at all either.
Well, now, would you say that would be a good starting game for someone who isn't familiar with that type of genre?
I actually would. For those who are not who are very unfamiliar with role playing games, Golden Sky Stories is a great way to start out. I've ran several play tests with children, parents, never played a role playing game in their lives. Uh, the game, the game instead uses a point based system, and for everything you want to do, it will cost a certain number of points. You want to make a friend by, uh, like, if you're playing the rabbit and there's a little girl nearby and you want to get her to like you, you could uh, you could hop around or then turn into a bunny girl and start dancing around and singing with her. That's going to cost you points, and you get points in every scene. So so the parents and the kids just dive right in, and within about 15 minutes they get really into it. Like, you would figure that they've been playing these games for years, and it just shocked the heck out of me when I normally see, like, okay, well, you're sort of new, here's Dungeons and Dragons, here's your character sheet, here's your miniature. Okay, everybody, what do you want to do? And then the new person's kind of frozen in their seat.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's why, like, for someone who isn't familiar with these games, I had such trouble because I think it's a daunting task to be able to explain something like D&D to somebody and just be like, okay, go. It's like, what do you mean go? What do I do?
Yes, yeah, but we all generally know, like a small town, you don't really need to get too too obsessive over the location. We've actually or the animals. Like one parent decided to choose her cat's name to be Patches. Uh, and I don't really sweat the details. The whole idea is it's all part of the story. And the thing I love about this game is that as everybody's playing and doing things, everybody else can reward that person with a token. And then that token, at the end of the scene, can be all of their tokens can be spent on improving their relationships with the other characters. So it's very much, for those of you who've played Persona, it's very much like the whole
Social links?
all the social links. Yes, I should know this because I've worked on one of the games.
No, this is obviously this interview is kind of sudden because of the switch, so I didn't actually get to do full stalking research on you, so I don't know which one you worked on, which I apologize for.
It's okay. I worked on Shin Megami Tensei Online when it first came out here in the U.S.
I know
I
quite a few
localized it.
people who played that. Yes, that was pretty popular when it started. I don't know how that went. Like I know with a lot of online MMO games, you find people who are like, I'll play it for a little bit," and then they drop off the face of the earth.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you only have enough time to do a certain amount. Although I'd have to say, free to play has made the whole casual MMO player who can who can kind of juggle two or three different MMOs instead of having like $15 whittle away on their account every month.
Well, now for the listeners out there who want to keep up to date on all of these projects, do you guys have an official website, a Twitter, a Facebook?
Yes, we do. We have an official Facebook page for Golden Sky Stories. Just check us out at on Facebook, Golden Sky Stories. We're right there. For the web, they can go to starlinepublishing.com, and that has an update to a lot of our things. And for Twitter, we're just starting off very soon. It should be up by the time everybody hears this. This will be under Starline Mike.
Awesome. And I hope that they can see you at a convention once again to experience themselves. And the listeners out there better go follow them because you guys seem to consistently come out with really amazing projects that, really appeal to fans of kind of all skill sets in terms of role-playing games.
Yeah, well, we're also just doing all kinds of cool story games. We're really hoping that Golden Sky Stories uh, and as well as Channel A will do really well on the Kickstarter. Uh, we'll be making sure to put in a bunch of extra rewards, so keep plugging, and you guys will be rewarded. We definitely appreciate our fans, and that's pretty much what we do. Is we want to show off these really cool games that we think are very unique. And just absolutely clever. We can't wait to show what we have coming up next. So definitely check out Channel A, Made RPG, and Golden Sky Stories.
Awesome. And since we're nearing the end of this interview, I was wondering if you'd be willing to participate in a 91.8 The Fan tradition.
Okay, this won't have to be me breaking a felony, will it?
No, not at all. You just have to
Okay.
say a line for us. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Basically, we ask everyone if they'd be willing to do a radio bump for us, whether they're a voice actor or not.
All right.
Awesome. The trick of it, however, is that every single time you mess up, they get to hear it. Our lovely listeners.
Oh boy.
Isn't that exciting? I'm sure it's very exciting.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on
Ba-
a moment. Oh, go right ahead.
Basically, we ask if you'd be willing to say, "Hello, my name is," you insert your name, "I do this," your official title or what you've worked on, and you're tuned into 91.8, The Fan. So as soon as you're done writing that down or typing it, you're free to go ahead and do your first take.
Okay. So hold on a moment. Hello, I'm Michael Stevens. I'm with Starline Publishing, maker of Golden Sky Stories. And if you're alone and a little angry and love Madoka a little too much, you're listening to 91.8 The Fan.
Do you want to just try doing you're listening to 91.8 The Fan really quick?
Sure. You're listening to 91.8 The Fan.
There you go. That wasn't so bad. Don't worry. A lot of people mess up the numbers, and by a lot I mean like over 250 people. So you're okay.
Ah, yeah. I just wanted to do something like those old Daily Show plugs.
Hey, I think it was a great idea. It makes you unique and interesting. And for the listeners out there, is there anything else you want to tell them? Any words of wisdom, dating advice, or what the weather is like?
Oh, well, uh, here's the thing I'd have to say. Go out there, tell stories, find cool things you want to do, and do them. Don't just don't don't just follow. Please follow, but also make your own things. Find your own stuff. Support uh, support your local creators as well as support the little guy. That's always bar none important, and especially as things go on, you'll really respect everything if you give these things a try.
And that's some words to live by. So actually put those in your brain and take them with you. Or in your pocket if your brain doesn't have enough room. That's fine, I understand.
That's what iPhones are for, people.
Exactly. But thank you so much.
Or
This was
Android.
or an Android, yes. You don't want to be biased because then people will be upset you didn't message or didn't mention Android.
Yeah, yeah, unfortunately so.
And then I'll be in the corner with my BlackBerry. Anyway, so thank you very much though for this interview.
BlackBerry can go to hell.
No. Well, thank you for the interview, but I'm not going to thank you for that. That was rude. And for anybody out there that missed any of this interview, shame on you, but don't fret, it'll be up on the website within the next few days, so keep it tuned to 91.8 The Fan, everything you want and nothing you don't.